Well, Herman Mashaba, the Joburg Metro Mayor, was talking to my colleague Nickolaus Bauer, who joins me now on Newsday. First of all, what is an opportunity centre? That was also something that was raised in this State of the City address.
Well, indeed, Jeremy. Here is the State of the City address by Mayor Herman Mashaba, and then on about page 3 he starts talking about opportunity centres, the first of which has already been opened up in Marshall Street. The remainder are going to be launched in the days and the weeks to come, quote unquote, and essentially it's going to replace the Josie at Work program. All employment opportunities offered by the city will be made available on a database at these opportunity centres, and they will also become centres where entrepreneurial resources will also become available. So in other words, places to register businesses, places to register your business with SARS and that type of thing. And it's essentially trying to get everybody that wants to be involved in any sort of employment opportunity, or perhaps be in a position where they can offer an employment opportunity as an entrepreneur, can get into the system, and then I'm supposing not only benefit from these opportunities, but also provide their own slice of rates, taxes and revenue for the city of Johannesburg.
What I'm also hearing is this could be Joburg at Work 2.0. I mean, is there a huge difference here?
Well, I mean, I haven't studied the Opportunity Centre plan in depth and held it up against the Josie at Work program just yet, but that's what the ANC in the Johannesburg caucus is saying. Well, it's just Josie at Work with another name. And I mean, to be honest, Opportunity Centre, what is that actually telling us? Could they have not come up with perhaps a slightly more inventive name? I'm not too sure, but it remains to be seen whether or not this is actually going to kickstart employment in the city, or even if it is going to draw in informal traders in such a way that they can actually maybe start contributing a little bit more to the city's fiscus.
Nickolaus Bauer, of more concern is housing in the city. So as the State of the City address was happening a couple of kilometres south, there were protests erupting, notably in El Dorado Park, over a lack of housing provision. We've seen land invasions, land grabs. Mashaba is saying that there's a new draft housing policy, that in every new development of 10 dwellings, there's got to be something called 20% of inclusionary housing. What is inclusionary housing?
Well, that also remains to be seen exactly in black and white what that means. And with it being draft legislation, I try to suggest this to the mayor, that essentially, it's your second State of the City address. For a person that's not very adept at politics, you're doing fairly good politicking, offering things such as an opportunity centre, and also talking about draft legislation to deal with the housing backlog, and putting forward terms such as inclusionary housing. What does that mean at this point in time? And what do we have to go on besides what you just said, that every dwelling that has every new development that has 10 or more dwellings needs to include 20% inclusionary housing? I mean, that could mean a whole raft of things. It really is not going into specifics. And how will it be done in such a way that you're not also just in some ways mirroring the old apartheid spatial legislation, where you did have main developments with servants' quarters?
Nickolaus, the world over, politicians always look back, not always looking forward. Is the mayor of Johannesburg also guilty of this, being able to successfully play the blame game?
Well, I wouldn't say that he's playing the blame game at this time, but he certainly is looking backwards to his predecessor's record, and is using the fact that he put his own investigation team within the city into motion, headed by former Gauteng Hawks boss Shadrack Sibiya. And let's be honest, that is starting to bear a lot of fruit. Another big corruption busting deal that he unveiled during his State of the City address was the rollout of broadband. Apparently, the rollout of broadband, which cost Johannesburg 2.3 billion rand during the Parks Tower era, involved companies that have directors that are current serving government ministers. He didn't name those people, and he said once the investigation comes to a close, they'll be able to announce the outcome and announce these ministers, but certainly harping on a lot about what's come before him and the millions and billions of rand in corruption that he is uncovering. I try to push him for details exactly. When are we going to see these people hauled before court? When are we going to see arrests? When are we going to see something other than headlines? He underlined the fact once again that his administration is still trying to undo the problems of the past.
And finally, also paying some tribute to the JPMD, saying that there has been success in building hijackers. We have seen that on the this channel before, halting illegal service usage and also cracking down on drugs.
Well, indeed. Yeah. Let's not forget, credit where credit's due, K9 JMPD unit was launched during the Herman Mashaba administration. We've also got that new JMPD police chief, and it seems as though they are succeeding on the building hijacking front. Over 500 arrests. I'm not too sure if that happened in the last year or since his administration came to power, but of those people that are involved in building hijacking and the like. And of course also a number of arrests being made for your normal things like drinking and driving, but also the JMPD being involved in operations to try and pinpoint people that are using services illegally, essentially not paying for them and trying to get them into the system paying.
Nickolaus Bauer, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed.